Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a little bit different than some of my normal videos, and the main reason slash inspiration behind it is because I have stopped fake tanning slash spray tanning for just a little bit. I've been wanting to let my skin breathe and just be kind of natural for a while, and so naturally I am really fair skinned. I have really fair and pale skin, so I thought, while I am on this break from spray tanning, I would do a makeup video on how I do my makeup when I have my natural fair skin. And I've struggled a little bit with it because my main thing about when I wear pale makeup or makeup for my fair skin is I feel like I just look washed out or dead and I don't have any dimension to my face. So that's one thing that I really wanted to kind of show you guys how I combat and get around. So if you're interested in seeing how I do my makeup for fair skin, then go ahead and keep watching. Alright, so my skin is clean and moisturized and I don't have any makeup on it as of now. It is just my completely natural skin and you guys can see it is nice and fair. So when I go for a fair look, my main goal is to really make my complexion look even. So I really focus a lot on my skin. I want it to look flawless, even, and I like it to have a little bit of a glow just so that I don't look matte and flat and like I don't have any life or dimension to my face, like I said. So it's going to kind of seem like I'm using a lot of product, which normally I don't. So this is going to be kind of a little bit of a different video where I use a lot more on my face. So the very first thing, I literally had to go out and buy some new makeup that matched my fair skin because I'm so used to having a spray tan on. So the first product that I've used before but not in this color is the Revlon Color Stay Whipped makeup, and I absolutely love it. It's fairly light and you can build it up and it'll give you some good coverage. So I got it in the color Ivory 110 and it's literally the lightest color that they have. So I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go all out. So I just take a tiny bit on my hands, and you guys know me, I'm just totally into using my fingers. I don't think it's a big deal. So I put this on first all over my face. And like I said, it kind of may look like I'm applying a lot of makeup to my face, but it's whipped. So it's super moussey. Like if you guys have ever seen like chocolate mousse or even like whipped cream, you can look like you're spraying a whole bunch out, but really it spreads super thin and super even. So that's kind of the same thing behind this foundation. It covers really well, it's super buildable, and it just gives a really flawless finish. So let me get some around my nose. I just exfoliated my face, so I got a couple spots of redness right now that I definitely want to conceal. And if you guys are interested in a good exfoliator, I have a really good one that I can do a video on if you're interested in skincare. Alright, so that puts a pretty good even layer on my skin. Just get my eyelids a tiny bit, nothing too crazy. Alright, so that is the foundation, and it looks fine just like that, but if you're going to go for an overly flawless look, then you can always add layers on top, which is what I'm going to do. So the next thing that I'm going to do after getting just my light foundation on is I'm going to put some concealer on. I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match, and it is also their lightest color in Fair Light. And you guys have seen me put this on a million times, so I'll just show you. I apply it here, down my nose in this triangle here. Sorry about that, my video cut off there just for a second, but all I did is just blend my concealer under my eyes, a tiny dab here, and then a tiny bit under my nose, and I know you guys have seen me do that a million times. And this is what it looks like. So I use my concealer a ton as a brightening and as a highlight instead of having to do like a billion different things of highlighting on my face. So then after that, I'm just going to take my Mineral Wear Creamy Natural Makeup from Physicians Formula, and I'm just using a regular brush, and this is actually a smidge darker than my skin color, like just a tiny bit. It's Creamy Natural, and I would normally get like the lightest one. I think this is maybe the second or third lightest, but I feel like this adds a tiny bit of color just to dab to my face to add a little bit more dimension, so that I don't look ghostly or translucent. And I think that's okay to have a tiny bit of color as long as it's blended. So that is what I do with this. I make sure I really get it blended down my jawline and into my neck. And this is a fairly sheer powder. It's nothing super cakey or super thick. It's just to add a tiny bit of color while kind of setting the foundation and the concealer. Alright, now one thing that when I'm doing my makeup when I have fair skin that I've kind of been afraid of is actually bronzer. And I've messed around with it a lot because you see those people sometimes that just have like stripes on their cheeks and it doesn't look natural. And so when I do my makeup with my fair skin, I get kind of scared of it because I don't want to look unnatural. That's my one thing. I'm not for looking like I have a ton of makeup on my face. So the one thing I've learned is that you don't need to be scared of it. You just need to know how to apply it. So I'm just using this NYC Sun and Bronze. You guys have seen me use this plenty of times before. And I'm actually going to dip a flat top kabuki brush into it like this. I'm going to dab it off on a paper towel. And then I'm really going to buff it in just where my natural contour is. And I'm going to use this tiny little bit. You guys saw how much I used for my entire face. I'm going to get my jaw. And then like I said again, if you're going to use any kind of color, really blend it down. That's the biggest thing. Blend it into your jaw, blend it down through your neck. And once I pretty much have all the product distributed, and off the brush, then what I'll do is I'll go back and use this stiff brush to really push it in my skin and make it look naturally blended. So this, I think, is the biggest key in adding dimension to your face when you're using or when you're going for a more pale look. You can still add dimension. It's just all about how you do it and making sure that it's totally buffed in. And that's one of the reasons that I so love using this hard kabuki brush. And it's just an e.l.f. brush, you guys. I think it was $3 at Target. And as long as you really push that into your skin and get it really well blended, then it's going to look completely natural. It's going to look like you just have little highlights. The center of my face is still really bright. I still have the same coloring. It matches my neck. So I think those are the main keys. As far as adding some dimension, is to not be afraid to use bronzer. So that is how I use it. And that's what it looks like. Alright, and then for one of my very favorite things is blush. And of course I'm going to use the e.l.f. Pink Passion. It's one of my favorite blushes. It works just for any skin color. And I'm wearing kind of a pinky today, so I want to add some little pops of color here to my cheeks. So I'm really just going to focus on the apples and going for kind of a sweet, glowy look. After I finish my blush, I always take a little cotton pad and just kind of blend it, oh my gosh, sorry, just kind of blend it in a little bit more, just because I'm a fan of being really well blended. If you want it to have a super, bright pop of color on your cheek, then that step's totally unnecessary. I just like to do that because I like the really natural look. So then comes my absolute favorite part, and I feel like the most important part of this look, and that is adding the highlight. And I've used this highlight in one other video I think before, and it's actually a baked blush by e.l.f. called Pinktastic, and it is so pretty and I love it so much. It adds such a glow. So I just take this little thick angled brush and dip it in and then work it on my cheeks, and it's gonna kind of brighten up here. Sorry, because I'm putting the black next to my face. It's a huge contrast. I'll show you guys though in just a second. I like to put some on my eyelids just to glow it up a bit. And then my actual favorite part or favorite place to put this is on the tip of my nose. And I know that's kind of weird. Put a little bit on my Cupid's bow. I know it's kind of weird to add like a little glow to the tip of my nose, but it's just somewhere that you wouldn't think of, but it brightens up your face and it makes it look so much more dewy and natural and just like it's not so flat looking. So here is a close-up of what it looks like. You can just see it's just tiny. I love the nose. You can just see it kind of reflects. And just tiny like flecks of just glow on my face. So that's what that looks like. Really natural, just really pretty and simple. Alrighty, so I actually just filled in my eyebrows off camera using my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pencil, and I'm hoping to get a video up on that. I've been hoping for a while, so hopefully I can get that up soon. I just want to do a video dedicated to brows because I'm using a new product. But my very last kind of final touch before I do lipstick is actually a new product I picked up by NYX called HD Studio Finishing Powder. And it is in the color, I think, translucent. And the first time I used this, I don't think I used it right. And I put it on, and it definitely mattifies and definitely sets everything in place. But my skin felt so dry and so just like, have you ever put makeup on and sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, my skin feels like plastic, I can't move it. And you're like, trying to move your mouth and you just feel ridiculous. Yeah, and it's because I use this as an actual powder. I kind of used it in place of where I used this earlier, and I kind of figured out that that is not its job. This is a setting powder, and it is just there to kind of set all your makeup. So I've now put foundation, a powder, concealer, bronzer, blush, and highlight on my face. So I've got, 6 or 7 different products that this does wonders of combining all together. Now it is super powdery, so when I put it on you'll see powder flying everywhere, but I just use a tiny bit in the lid and it is literally white, you guys. Tap it off, see, I don't know if y'all can see that. Almost looks like smoke. And I just put this all over my face. You can probably see powder flying, I'm sorry. And I use this to set everything together. Because if you're going for that flawless look, everything kind of needs to come together somehow. And so this is what I use. And it doesn't change the colors of anything I've done at all. It just kind of brings it together and makes it look just like it's all one canvas. And it just, like, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it just illuminates. It makes everything super blended. My highlight isn't sticking out on top of a layer of bronzer or on top of a blush. Everything, and you can just load this stuff on. It really mattifies. So if you have, I don't have oily skin. I actually have more dry skin. But I found that if I use this just as the top coat over top of things that have already covered my natural skin, it works fine. When I put this on my just bare skin as a foundation, it did nothing. It was so drying. But if you have oily skin, then that may be a good alternative for you if you want to mattify and then add things on top. My one tip would be just to remember never to do a powder and then a cream. So if you're going to do like a cream foundation, make sure you put that on first and then your powders are the last thing that you put on top. But this is the last step that I do as far as for my face goes. And then my actual skin is done. Got something in my hair. All right, and so then if anybody knows me, you know that my very favorite thing to any look is the lipstick. So I'm going to finish this off with 905 Bras and Berry. I believe this is by Maybelline. And I wanted to use this because it got kind of smashed when I did my kids do my makeup video. I wanted to use this because I'm wearing pink. So I still wanted a bright color, but I wanted a contrast. I didn't want everything pink. I don't want, my cheeks and my outfit and my lips and everything just so pink. So this is a really good alternative to that. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was something just a little bit different, but I thought it would be fun to do because I usually have a spray tan on and I thought I would just take advantage of when I don't. So if you have fair skin or pale skin, this is what I like to do when I'm really trying to enhance or accentuate my natural beauty, because it is still beautiful. I do want people to know that. Just because you don't have a fake tan does not mean you can't be beautiful and look absolutely flawless. So this is the completed look for my fair skin makeup tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Bye!